Look around at your life right now. Not the version of it you are building toward, not the one you describe when someone asks about your goals and your plans and your vision for the future. The actual one. The one that exists today. The people in it, the habits you keep, the conversations you have, the way you spend your hours, the thoughts you let run unchallenged, the behavior you accept from others and from yourself without comment. That life, the real, current, as it actually is version, is not an accident. It is the direct and precise result of what you have been willing to tolerate. Every part of it. The things you love and the things you don't. The relationships that lift you and the ones that quietly drain you. The standards you hold and the ones you keep lowering when holding them feels like too much work. You built this life one tolerance at a time. And if any part of it doesn't look the way you want it to, the most honest question you can ask is not what happened to me, but what have I been allowing? Welcome to Motivation Daily. This is March 26th, and today we are going to talk about one of the most quietly powerful forces shaping your life, the things you have decided, consciously or not, to put up with. Tolerance is a word we usually associate with virtue. Patience, acceptance, open-mindedness, these are good things, and in many contexts they are. But there is another kind of tolerance, the kind that operates not as a strength, but as a slow surrender. The kind where you stop expecting more, because expecting more keeps being disappointing. Where you stop pushing back, because pushing back keeps leading to conflict. Where you stop holding yourself to the standard you once believed in because the gap between where you are and where you wanted to be became too painful to keep measuring. That kind of tolerance is not acceptance. It is erosion. And it happens so gradually, in such small daily increments, that most people do not notice it until they are standing in a life that feels entirely foreign to the one they once intended to live. Think about the standards that have slipped in your life, not the ones you consciously revised because you grew and your priorities evolved. Those are healthy. I mean the ones that slipped because you got tired, because you got busy, because the friction of maintaining them felt like more than the reward of holding them. The fitness standard that quietly became a suggestion, the financial boundary that quietly became flexible. The relationship dynamic you swore you would never accept that has somehow become the new normal. The quality of work you used to hold yourself to that you have been slowly negotiating downward because no one else seemed to notice the difference. You noticed. And some part of you has been carrying the weight of every lowered standard like a tax you pay in self-respect. Here is the mechanism that makes this so insidious. Every time you tolerate something below your standard, you do two things simultaneously. You make the next tolerance easier because you have already moved the line once, and lines that have moved once move more easily the second time. And you send yourself a message about your own worth, about what you deserve, about what is realistic for someone like you. And that message, repeated enough times through the language of your own choices, starts to feel like the truth. The life you are living is a mirror. It reflects back exactly what you have been willing to accept. Not what you hoped for, not what you deserved in some abstract sense, but what you actually, practically, day after day, decided to allow. And if that reflection is uncomfortable to look at, good. Discomfort is information. Discomfort is the gap between who you are being and who you know you are capable of being, making itself heard. So what do you do with it? You raise the standard. Not all at once, that kind of wholesale revolution rarely sticks. You raise it in one area, today, in one concrete and specific way. You decide that starting right now, there is one thing you are no longer willing to tolerate, one behavior from yourself, one dynamic in a relationship, one habit that has been draining you, one compromise that has been costing you more than it is worth. And then you hold it. Not perfectly, not without difficulty, but you hold it with the understanding that every time you do, you are doing something far more significant than just changing a behavior. You are sending yourself a different message. You are building evidence that you are someone who holds standards, someone who respects themselves enough to require more, someone who does not quietly accept less than they are worth simply because accepting it is easier than demanding better. Your environment will rise to meet the standard you set for it. People treat you according to what you show them you will accept. Your own habits conform to the expectations you hold yourself to. The quality of your life calibrates itself to the level of tolerance you operate from. Set the standard higher. Hold it. Watch what your life becomes when you stop tolerating less than you deserve. Share this with someone who needs to raise their standard today. Subscribe to Motivation Daily. We show up every day at the standard you deserve. Drop a comment and tell me, what is the one thing you are no longer willing to tolerate starting right now? Name it out loud. That declaration is the first act of the higher standard. See you tomorrow. Keep going.